This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Welcome, my friends. Before we start this video, I'd like to say a couple of things. Number one, I have zero qualifications. I am nothing but a bro scientist. But that being said, this is my opinion, and I'm about to debunk the complete crock of shit you're all being fed on a daily basis. So, let's get straight into it. Number one, I'm a positive person. A lot of you boys will know that if you watch the channel, and I believe these lies can be your friend. I do not believe that we need to change the system or overthrow it. I think the likelihood of doing that is very, very slim, not because it would be good or bad, but because very few people actually want to be awakened. A lot of people are very happy with the life that they live inside the Matrix, and that's absolutely fine. They can stay there. This information is not about changing everyone. This is about getting the information to the right people, the people who want to listen, the people who want a better life. So this information is for you, my friend, and you can use it hopefully to level up and change the way that you live, but you don't have to be worried about changing the whole system. Without the system, things would break. We need people on the bottom, we need people on the top. It's just the way the world works. So we don't need to change everyone, but this information hopefully will enlighten a few of you. Number one, and it's often a question I get, and it was a question that people ask me whenever I come up with something that sounds a little bit absurd, and they say, why would anyone tell all of these lies? Why would everyone want us suppressed? Why would they do this? It just seems like too much hassle. And very simple, personal gain. People have evil inside them. I believe every single person has got evil. Some people feed it. Some people believe it. Some people listen to it. We've got an angel and a demon inside of all of us. And some people are very much, for whatever reason, taken over by the evil inside of them. They follow the money. They do things for personal gain. And I believe that money doesn't lie. If you follow the money, you will find the answers. And that is how I've structured this video. I'm just going to give you a couple of great examples of lies from the past. And one is this one right here. Dr. Batty's asthma cigarettes. Just to give you the relief of asthma, to get rid of your hay fever, just to cure your foul breath, all diseases of the throat and your head cold. So you're smoking them ciggies, boom, all of those problems are no longer a problem. This is one of many. Just look up right now some of the biggest lies told in history, and have a look back in history at the things people once thought was legitimate. For example, a lobotomy of the brain. So you had an issue with your brain, maybe a little bit depressed, so they thought, all right, let's cut his head open and let's just cut the bad bit out. Well, if you do that to somebody, they'll end up a vegetable. And they quickly found that out. Now, that was a lie that people told other people. And it's been happening throughout the whole of history. And history repeats itself. Number one, sun exposure is bad for you. All life on planet Earth has come from the sun. We have evolved to live and thrive in sunlight. But everybody's telling you that if you go out in the sun for too long, you're going to get skin cancer. Well, let's just follow the money for a second. The sun provides life to all things on Earth. The sun is free to anybody who steps outside. Therefore, companies cannot sell you the sun. They cannot bottle it and sell it. They can't give it to you. But what they can do is tell you it's bad. They can say, oh, you don't be spending too much time in the sun because that'll harm your skin. That'll give you skin cancer. So eat our nasty foods. Eat our nasty seed oils, the things that actually give you cancer. And then we'll tell you it's the sun, which is actually good for you. And then you'll buy our cream, which is carcinogenic, and rub it on your skin. So follow the money, boys. Follow the money. If you have a look at that, I understand that going in the sun for long periods of time, burning your skin until it's red and blistered, is not a good idea. But I also don't think putting sun cream on is a very good idea. I personally choose to use coconut oil. It's all natural, hasn't got any nasty shit in it, and spend an hour unprotected in that sunshine, baby. Get that nice glow, get that tan skin. Just have a look at the results. somebody who sits inside, when we sit inside, when we play video games, when we stay out of the sun, when we put on that factor 50 sunblock, how do we look? No, we look unhealthy. James Bond, on the other hand, been out in the sun, has been sunning himself, he's been Mallorca, maybe he's been Greece, Santorini, maybe he's been to Thailand. He's looking good, he's looking chiseled. And when we sit in the sun, how do we feel? We feel happy, we feel good, we feel it nourishing us, we feel less depressed, we feel good about ourselves. For me, that's lie number 1. Sun exposure, debunked. It's not bad for you. Lie number 2. You should eat a vegan diet and avoid red meat. Have you ever met a vegan that you liked? Because I haven't. Every vegan I've met has something wrong with them. And I've obviously not met all vegans. I don't know all of them. But I've also tried a vegan diet. I tried it for 2 weeks. Completely vegan. I got incredibly sick. I was actually very, very ill after a vegan diet for 2 weeks. Ill to the point where I was ill for a week in bed. And I can't blame that directly on a vegan diet, but it was very interesting it happened at the same time. I tried to then cure my illness by continuing to eat a vegan diet. I was like, okay, if I keep eating all this veg, if I make sure I'm following this vegan diet, I'm going to get better soon. I didn't get better. I was still very, very ill. I had like a horrible tonsillitis kind of thing, horrible kind of flu. And then in the end, I switched back to my normal diet of eggs and red meat, and I ended up being okay. So in my opinion, from what I've seen, it's absolute nonsense. And if you follow the money, turning very cheap plants into cheap waste products from plants, cheap plants that you can use and turning them into fake meat, that's a very big industry. There's a lot of money to be had there. So I would say, get your sun, eat your red meat, eat your eggs, eat your cheese, eat your dairy. It's what we naturally would have done if we raised a farm. It's what we would naturally do now if society collapsed. We certainly wouldn't be going around and fucking manufacturing fake meat out of plants if we were to go back to stage 1. So look at what got us here. Have a little look at the research. I'm a bro scientist, so I haven't done any research. But you need to look at the research and think, is a vegan diet actually good for me, or is that serving somebody else? Because as we can see, when we look at vegans, when we hear vegans, when we speak to vegans, there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong normally with their minds. And normally they don't look too healthy. So eat a vegan diet if you want. Disagree with me if you want. But that's my opinion, and that is lie number 2. Lie number 4. A certain person is corrupting the youth and has found themselves in prison. I'm going to tell you a story about somebody called Seneca. In ancient Rome, there was an emperor called Nero, and he was a tyrant. He was operating for himself and not for the people. And there was a very wise stoic called Seneca who started to educate the youth, who started to let them know what they should do to better themselves so that they could have nice lives with good families, so that they could protect themselves and their children, so that they could live and prosper on this earth. Nero, who could be represented maybe as the powers that be, they weren't a big fan of this, and they had him killed for corrupting the youth. A similar story has found itself in the paper at recent times, and I would really implore, I think that's the right word, and I would ask every one of you to just have a look at the facts, the real facts, and have a think about this certain person and whether what they've actually done is wrong or whether someone's trying to silence them, because I know what I think. Lie number 5. Go to university. Now, the powers that be are genius. This is incredible marketing and incredible indoctrination. You go through education your whole life. You're taught to be a worker. That's what education system's for. You're taught to be a worker so that you can fit into the machine, so that you can look after everybody else, so you can make sure the machine doesn't collapse. Fair enough. I understand that, and not everyone's made to be top dog, so that's fine. But I just want you boys to know. Go to university is very, very smart, because at 18 years old, you're fucking dangerous. You're full of energy. You're full of ideas. You're creative. You're ready to explode into the marketplace. You're ready to carve out a living for yourself and for your family. But they put a nice big distraction in your face. They say, oh, come and have some hedonism. Come and drink some cheap booze, smoke some cigarettes and find women. Spend your 4 vital years where you could be out there dominating, sitting in classrooms that teach you outdated curriculum, and drowning your sorrows in booze and cigarettes, getting yourself into debt, and then boom, you come out, you're lazy, you're fat, you're tired, you fucking partied, your life's over now, boom, you're trapped. and you go into the workforce and you stay trapped there in your debt and you pay it off. Now, I understand for some people, university is a good thing. There's certain professions and you need university. Fair enough if you're going to do that. Also, if you get into a prestigious university, you can network very well. You can be around people that are intelligent and you can make opportunities out of that. A couple of things you can do. But for the majority of people, just know that university is a complete scam. And you're there for a reason. You're a monetary sign, every single one of you that goes through that system. And you are there for a reason. And you just need to know that before you make that decision. Because in those 18 to 23, you could be out there really carving and making a difference in the world and making a difference for yourself and learning things, getting real skills. So just understand that, and don't be guided by the temptation of cheap booze and cigarettes and the nasty things that are at university that seem very appealing, very fun. That doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Line number 6, it's okay to be weak. Have you ever met a girl that asks you to open up about your feelings? That says, oh, it's okay, you can tell me anything. Just tell me all your troubles. It's okay, I'll look after you. So you do tell her, you sob your heart out, and she disappears. This happens all the time. This happens to young men all the time. She's been told a lie, it's not her fault, and you have been too. And that's that it's okay to be weak, that it's okay to be a victim. We live in a victim mentality where it's okay if you didn't win. It's okay if you're a bit fat. You're still healthy underneath. You're healthy under the tank, it's fine. How you look doesn't matter. Oh, you're poor, that's all right, don't worry, money doesn't matter. Men shouldn't be like this. When you lose, you should want to win. When you're fat, you should want to look good. Life becomes difficult when you don't have things, and it's that difficulty that makes you strong, and it's that difficulty that turns you into a good man. So men should be stoic. I'm not saying men can't have emotions. You should feel all different emotions. I've seen Jordan Peterson break down crying. It's absolutely okay to cry. It's absolutely okay to have emotion. But what I would think about is the decisions you're making in an emotional state. So, for example, men are killing themselves because they get unhappy, they get sad, and they make a decision to end their lives in that emotional state. God damn it, should turn that off. But what you should be is stoic. So you can view your emotions for what they really are, and you can still think logically. So I would recommend you have a support network of people you speak to privately, friends that you trust, that if you have emotions, you can go and speak with them, you can break it out, you can break down in front of them, and you can feel supported. You get those emotions out, you see them for what they really are, and you logically think about the solution, and you become a strong man, you become a stoic man. You are not slaves to your emotion. You're not slaves to desire. When you want something or you're feeling an emotion for something, you don't just act on it. You don't just burst into tears all the time. You don't just get angry and hit someone. You need to be stoic. You need to understand it's not okay to be weak. You need to be strong. This world is made for strong men. Strong men are virtuous. Weak men are evil. There you go. Line number 6. Line number 7. And understand it really isn't like this in a lot of the world. And I don't even think it's mainstream government that is telling this. But a lot of the West has been infiltrated by this idea that religion is silly. Religion is not a good idea. And for some reason, I think there's an alternative narrative that wants you to believe this. And as the world crumbles, we find ourselves in an interesting position. We're losing the faith that built the world. The faith that we all revert back to in times of suffering. I've never met a person that doesn't revert back to faith in times of great suffering. In times of great pain, they'll always believe in a higher power. And the reason why the Bible and various other religious texts have lasted so long is because they are a guide. They are the original guide to living a virtuous and good life so that we can live on this planet together and not harm each other. Now, I think there's huge problems in the way that religion is marketed to young people. I think the shove it down your throat mentality of a lot of religious groups is very hard for people to stomach. But I would recommend you watch the biblical lectures by Jordan Peterson to start researching religion and finding some faith in your life, something to guide you and give you hope, give you promise, and show you what you need to do as a man, show you how you need to live to be fulfilled and happy in your life. I think religion is incredibly important, and the more we lose it, the darker the world gets. So I think it doesn't matter what religion you are, but I think you need faith, and I think you should start researching faith. If you are atheist like I used to be, you should start to research religion. And line number 8, pop this pill, medicate yourself, We are not taught anything about living a beautiful life, what we actually need. We're instead taught to medicate when we're depressed. We don't look at the problems. We look at the medication that you can have. Have this pill, suppress that feeling, do this, do that. Don't solve the original problem. And this is one of the biggest lies, and it comes from our capitalist society, and I understand it, but you must know personally that we do not treat, we do not prevent, we do not cure, we just treat, and the reason why is money. So you need to understand that any medication you're being offered that seems too good to be true, a pill that will make you happy, a pill that will solve your anxiety, a pill that will solve your problems, a pill that will make you smart, a pill that will make you relax, a joint that will make you happy, it's all a fallacy. It's all nonsense. You've got everything you need in here and in here. You don't need anything else. You need to live a simpler life. You need to live a life of pain and suffering, and you need to appreciate the small things. So, what should you do? It's very, very simple. Understand a happy life is so simple that we've all completely forgot about it. That we don't even realise it's in front of us. All you need to do is train hard. Strengthen your mind. Question everything and everyone. Make your own decisions. Question me. I don't mind at all if you do not agree with a single thing I've said. That's entirely up to you. If it makes you happy, absolutely go for it. Read about religion. Eat meat and lots of eggs. It's very, very good for you. Get lots of sun. Study the Stoics. And you'll be all right, my friend. So, boys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope to have imparted some wisdom. Remember, it's purely for entertainment purposes, and you should listen to your local doctors and mainstream media for all your proper advice. But that's my 2 cents on things. So, boys, if you're interested in joining our brotherhood, the link is in the description. I'm not going to say any more about it. Those who know will know. And I'll see you chaps on the next one. Whoop-a, whoop-a!